Hey guys, welcome back to class. So for those that want to know when I have new content coming out, follow me on Twitter at @BrideCon_raw, and of course, you can also follow me on Instagram at @BrideCon_raw. Thank you. Cheers. All right, guys. So basically, what we've been touching on the topic is NLP, right? So just a little bit here and there. Of course, we've been going through the charisma, the magnetism, everything that has to do with the spirituality, including the presence, and of course a lot of relationships. It could be platonic, admiration, and even lovers, right? So what we're seeing now is that this all kind of falls within some topic that has the ability to effectively communicate and give us the tools that we need to change. And this is basically neuro-linguistic programming. In so little words, the acronym is called NLP. It's very simple. A lot of people use it for sales, but mostly what we're looking at is the ability to understand that we perceive different situations, circumstances, events in a different perspective, no matter what. We have different schemas and we have different understandings of the world. That's why we have different religions. That's why we have so many different opinions about politics and even life in general. Right? So what happens after life? Now what we're seeing is that a lot of people don't understand, for them to obtain what they need, sometimes they need to bend just a little bit, right? Sometimes people say, I want to be that successful. Well, what does it take to be that successful? Most people would just say, act that way, right? You act a certain way, you will receive that in a certain way, right? If you act how you've been acting, you will receive the same thing that you've always have been receiving. Now, what they need to understand is that for that to happen, you need to change your behavior. So changing your behavior gives you the experience to have a reference to. It's a reference point. Basically, you'll always have that as a memory within your long-term memory in your hippocampus. Now, what we're looking at is the ability to grab that information and communicate it, right? So neuro-linguistic programming. So cognitive, neuro, and then linguistic is the ability to use your language to obtain what you need. And of course, the programming is the changing of behavior, right? Now, what we're looking at is that our bodies also influence how we experience a lot of things. The neurological system that we have with our organs and even our body language, such as how we stand, how people perceive us, will influence our experience. We've talked about this before, as we influence our experience and our environment, as well as our experience and environment influences us. But it's all about the perspective. You control your perspective, you control what information is coming in and what you're receiving. And of course, we've talked about how you receive, code, decipher, and then how you choose to respond in reciprocation. Now, also understand that language is very important, because it's not only like a map, right? Like Nietzsche said, the map is not the territory. It's the ability to use that and understand that it speaks and it's influencing your reality, because how we interpret life, how we're describing life, how I've described how I believe life is different from what you think, but it's actually shaping my own reality, because I believe that people can be good. I believe that we can always innovate. I feel like everybody has some sort of ambition. That's why I do these videos, to communicate that as well. Other people might actually contradict that, believe something completely different, but that's why they live a different life than I do, right? Now, what we're looking is that it's not also the response, but you're looking at the whole picture. You're not focusing on just one thing. So you're being a little bit more flexible. Now, basically in NLP, we're looking at the rapport, we're looking at how we are engaging our senses towards that, and the ability to react to the outcome. What is the outcome that we want, and be flexible if the outcome that we wanted does not happen, right? So how are we interpreting this, right? So it could be, how can I make this positive? What have I achieved? What is the outcome that I wanted to, and how am I measuring this success, right? How am I measuring my success? Could it be that I need $1 billion? Maybe. But is that a realistic thing? Probably. There's people that have actually obtained $1 billion. How are you going to do that? So, of course, you're looking at the rapport, right? And we can understand that we have little rapport, neutral rapport, and then of course a lot of rapport. So this comes to the yes, maybe, no. And gauging where we are, that's where we start. Just like a race, just like anything else in life. You know, there's people that have the ability to have everything that they need because their legacy has given them that. So they start at a yes rapport. Others come in a middle class, middle rapport, and others come from no economic status or even help. So that comes from no. So the same thing. So understand any situation, and then of course use your senses. What is necessary for me to obtain what I need to do? So is that listening? Does this person need me to listen to them so I can do my job? Or am I just observing? Or is it that I'm trying to obtain a goal such as being full and I need to find out what is my favorite food, so I'll do a taste sample or something like that? It has everything to do with nothing and everything at the same time. You need to use your senses. This is how we perceive everything, right? So in phenomenology, you're looking at the ability of all the information, and through our senses, we're breaking it down, right? Again, this is the perspective that will be different from you and I. Now, again, what is the outcome? Was the outcome that we wanted exactly what we wanted, or is it something completely different? Be flexible. Be very, very flexible. Because what happens is that if you're not flexible and you have this rigidity to you of your understanding of your map, then it's just not going to work. So think about, what is it? Something flexible, like a fish, right? If a fish is not flexible, it's going to get caught in the river. Why? Because it believes that it needs to go one way, but a fish moves, right? Just like a snake, same way. It has this flexibility, this agility to it to move within a certain territory or some form of terrain that allows it to actually do what it needs to do, right? Because we learn, there's ups and downs, roller coaster, life, everything that you need to do. Being flexible will allow you to actually have a better state. And of course, Tony Robbins talked about this in Awaken the Giant. So basically, now you have the tools that you need to do is basically asking yourself questions. We talked about this many times back when I first started doing videos, and what we're doing is that whether it's more towards our own identity, is this the true expression of myself? But again, what we're doing is understanding the information that is given to us and how we want to obtain an end goal. All right guys, so I'm out and about what I just talked about. Peace.